Welcome to Yerba Mate Talks.
Welcome to another video review. I am Max, this is Kat, and I realized that we haven't done Vika. So we're going to do Vika. Before we do anything, make sure to do the social things like share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your street, and you'll subscribe to Yerba Mate Talks. And that way we can share the love for the channel. Oh my God, indeed. Yes, we are doing Vika. And I saw Dan in the chat. I don't know what you did to Vika, but it looks like you have damaged them. I don't know why, more than two, it seems like, because they're very triggered. I hear myself in a window. Where the hell? Here. There we go. All right. Sorry. Okay. So, hello. Let me, I'll put the link if someone wants to join here. And, we'll pin it. And there we go. I do have so many tabs. So many. Thank you so much for the raid. Mr. Gustafsson for 100 sex says, yo, Max, love from Sweden. Well, love you too. I bet it's getting really cold up there, because the earth is a globe. But it's summer down here. It's, that's the magic of the globe. I wish I could be like a bird and do 6 months in the north, 6 months in the south. That would be epic. If you could live like that chasing the heat. Dan says, I don't know if you heard before, but we're doing Vika. They're still crying about what you did to them, Dan. They're still very sore. Hello, Specs. Welcome. Check yellow. I'm sorry, but I do enjoy the heat. There we go. Hello, Dan.
Hey, Dan, what's up?
So they're still crying about what you did to them, you mean.
Yeah, I know. I'm mean and they don't like me because I made them look like clowns. I know. But I figured I might as well jump up here and show them what clowns they are.
Yes. I did see Jaren doing the impression of Vika. That was funny as hell.
Oh, hello, Isa. How are you?
I'm all right.
But
Hi.
hey, Isa. This is the final part of this review they've been doing. That goes on forever and ever and ever. Let me tell you. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 parts. Very good.
Is this still about that experiment that they were meant to put together?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
The problem is that they didn't bring anything, and my original idea was to do with Dan today, but he told me he's preparing a video, so subscribe to Unfornicated to get the video on the Globebusters covering Stone's experiment with the ILS. So that should be a lot of fun.
Stone actually went on for like an hour and 15 minutes to explain exactly what the experiment was, because Kevin, well, it wasn't Kevin's experiment, so he didn't really know it.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing a video basically going over why the experiment sucks and why it's wrong, and it should not surprise anybody. But there are 6 fatal flaws in the experiment that each one on their own would make the experiment, would invalidate the experiment as a whole for being exclusive. But when you add them all together, it's basically an autopsy.
Right. Mr. Gustafson gifted 10 Shadow Amati Talks memberships. Thank you so much. Let's see who they landed on. Craig Poole, Lorena Bull, Rocket Shepherd, False Narrative Cult, R. Paul 77, Mark W, Lindsay Bow, Paul Schober, Dib, and Willie. You can now enjoy some of the best emojis on the internet. Sorry, Dan, go on.
No, we're good. Do we go ahead and start playing this mess?
You got it.
Fine. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, it was a pain in the ass, the whole thing, but it's finished now, and I think I did what I wanted to present it, and I knew it would be painful, but it was so much obstruction, so much diffusion that it was hard to deal with those guys. They are not normal people. They are.
I'm not normal people.
You're not normal people.
Yes. I'm abnormal, apparently.
I'm going to say it like from the start. These two have the biggest prize of speaking the longest and saying the least. It's so annoying. They're both just complete idiots. Just getting that out of the way. Oh my. Kevin, what the fuck are you talking about? You guys are not the normal ones.
They are. I think Toon is an agent, to be honest.
Oh yeah, bro.
Oh yeah, bro. Bro.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Bro. Oh yeah, bro. Wait, I'm sorry. I got distracted. Yes. Now we do have more than Arwen when he was crying, but that clip is retired, officially inherited to Dan.
Oh, they were really freaking attacking from every angle, dude. They were not even letting you speak, nor
holding papers up in the end. Yes, I don't know how much.
I mean, attacking.
You were the one holding the papers because you couldn't shut your fucking mouth, Kevin.
And asking questions is attacking now.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
You don't ask questions. That is a big no-no. Because, it debunks our position and we don't like that. No way.
A few revised it, but at one point they muted only because I think they wouldn't this Shiva wouldn't come to a neutral platform. He needs the muting ability. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, he was supposed to be the neutral platform, dumbass.
It wasn't a debate.
Right. It wasn't. I was planning on touching on that later, but you're right. He was treating it, and the other dumbasses, they were all treating it like if it was a debate. And it wasn't. Right? So, all they had was the strategies, the rhetorical strategies, but Shiva wasn't looking for that. But he was supposed to be the mediator between the flat earthers and the globers. But he didn't take a lot of shit from the flat earthers, so he didn't fall into grace, I guess.
you could see the bias in him. You could see the bias in him right from the beginning, Kevin. Right?
You could see the bias in him. You could see the bias.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was biased towards Toon. I mean Glober, because as Blackburn Big Dragon points out, they think Toon's behind everything. I think he
Yes.
nailed it in the chat. And I was going to say, but I didn't want to interrupt anything. But you know that they think Toon's behind everything. That Toon hacks them. That Toon, you know, Toon could be messing with their phones. You know,
Everything. The
the
lights
reason
go
their
out.
girlfriend
it
broke up with
it
them was because of
Toon.
Toon. The reason their fish died was because of Toon. Everything.
Yeah, the dog bit me.
Noah's flood was because of Toon.
Everything. Yes.
Oh, for sure. No, yeah, I think that Toon took over at some point. Like maybe he was a little bit curious in the beginning. I don't know, maybe, but we know that Toon is crazy. But
Toon is crazy. Yes,
That-
you know it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
heard it. Toon
He's the
is
calm.
crazy.
He's one of the calmest people on the globe side. If I was to rank them.
I mean, if Toon is crazy, what am I?
Oh, I mean, if Toon's crazy, then I'm probably for the psych ward.
That is, Karen. That's adorable.
saw that at one point in the because this started in January, and we wanted to do a talk in May or June, but we saw that at this point of time, Toon took over completely, and it was not Shiva talking with us anymore, but Toon. So yeah, we know how debates go with Toon.
But it wasn't a
Obviously.
debate. It wasn't about the debate. You were supposed to bring your model, make your predictions, and then go test it out. That's where you got it wrong. It was never a debate.
Only.
Oh yeah, so he must have brainwashed him really good for him to just hand everything to McToon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Brainwashing. Yes. So MC Toon, he can brainwash you into doing stuff, apparently. Everyone. Be careful. Because that is just next level. That is magic of the highest order.
I
That
take
was-
offense that they're only talking about
was-
Toon.
I don't
And
know.
how
Sorry, repeat that, Dan. I'm
I
sorry.
said, I'm taking offense that they're only talking about Toon.
Hold on. Hold on.
come how
Repeat
come
that,
yeah how
Someone
come
of the
how
TFE
come
crew. Yeah. Say.
how come you got involved, brother? How what happened? How come you got involved? Because
Yeah, I was curious about the because I did the test with the fishing line, and I saw this interview with Shiva, and then I wanted to. I wanted to only observe the thing. I thought the top guys who are debating every now and then they will go there and I will only watch. But then I talked to the other flat.
Oh my god, he takes so long to speak. Holy shit. Mr. Gustafsson for 100 tags. MC Toon King. He is. Yes. But hold on, because they do come to the topic of Dan in not too long. But Kevin, he's just takes so freaking long to say anything.
Should I open this now or should I wait?
You might want to open it now to
What is it?
celebrate the fact that Max gifted 10 Shadow Mate Talks memberships. Thank you so much. And they went to Christos 369, Mike Gurney, Slithery, Idiot, Tim Davidson, Joe Veron, Michael Looper, Butch Comboy. Thanks a lot, Andy, Roby, and Tropic. And that's all of them. And that is, yes, that is a lot of sex. And thank you, Max. Bruce Wayne says, Fapsoid, Fap to porn because of Toon. Yes,
Yeah, I mean,
we all know that.
yeah.
My mom bakes cakes for $2 Australian. Kevin got
Oh.
cooked. New name, Kevin Bacon. Oh boy. Let's hold on.
Turtles, and they say they get excluded. They cannot join, and I just thought, okay, I will try it because
I'll step out. I'll be the one that Planet needs.
Why weren't they allowed to join? Because Shiva had two groups. If you were honest and
Tribes. Yes.
respectful in group one, you got invited. If you were an asshole, didn't understand basic math or physics, and still pretended that you were rewriting textbooks, you were in group two and you weren't invited.
Right.
But Dan, that's a very high bar, because if you don't understand math and physics, that's all flat earthers out. So I think that was actually unfair of Shiva.
No, but
Well, that was it was less about whether or not they could do 2 + 2 = 4, but it was more about, were they overly bombastic? Were they, threaten? You know how flirts get, when they get butthurt, when they get shown that they're wrong.
Right.
If they started attacking Shiva on X, which most of them did, then he was like, I just don't have time for you then.
Oh, right. So it was more like their behavior than, their knowledge.
Right. It was more like, can I talk to you like a normal person, or are you going to be an asshole?
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Okay, that makes sense.
And a lot of them can't help but to be assholes. So
Yeah.
maybe I can present my fishing line thing. And then I heard that also Stone, they excluded him, who did a good test. I talked with him, and we meet before, and we said what would be the best we could present. And I said I would like to present my fishing line, but he said there was also Lindsay at this meeting. The two.
Oh my fucking god! Finish a thought. Finish
No.
one idea.
I'm going to be releasing those pre-meetings. He mentioned, I think, this fishing line experiment, I think, exactly once in the stream of like 4 sentences.
Right.
Because he was talking about like his fishing line experiment, that's the celestial theodolite and ILS. And then he started presenting about what the ILS was as an overview. So, I mean, I'll show this all in when I release the videos.
Okay. But I mean, we all saw the presentations, Kevin. There's.
Well, these are the pre-meetings. We had 2 calls before the one.
I know. But even if we go just by what's already online, what happened live, we saw what you presented, Kevin, and it crumbled at the first objection. So, I mean, what? Why are you coping so hard?
Of illumination. He wanted to present something with magnetism, but then we talked, and Stone said no, his thing is cheaper, and we all agreed, and not only cheaper but faster to replicate, because
there you go.
We all
following instructions, right? Mark says to speed it up. Sure. I mean, it's not going to change the fact that he still rambles on and says 1,000 filler words and then gets a thought. And then when he's starting to get on a thought, he derails and talks about something else. It won't help that, but at least it will go faster.
I did the fishing line experiment. It took me several months to twist the line, and it was crazy what I did there. But yeah, the plane experiment was easier to replicate. He has some results which we can present, and yeah. So I said, okay, you get thrown out. So I will do what you want to do, because I think it's simple. Yeah. So I took over. I spoke for him, more or less. Yeah.
Nice. That's what it looked like. Like
like puppets do. If you put a sock in your hand and it goes like rah 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 rah. Yeah, I know. I don't. Yeah. Uh-huh.
It wasn't your thing, and then
Yeah.
right. So okay, and Tarita in the chat is asking how like how long have you been a flat Earth, and like yeah, how did they get to you, right? In a way, like to on board. How long?
Ooh.
The C word, which we cannot say here.
Yeah, yeah.
I got curious about other things, and I watched the 2020, or maybe it was 2019. I watched the Evaranon series, but I also then I remembered when I watched the Evaranon series that I could in a vacation some years ago I could.
Who the fuck is that? Right? Because I mean, he's from Austria, right? Where is he from?
Yeah, he's from Austria.
Like, how do you come in? Who is the top flat earther in Austria?
Well, so the Ether cosplayers have their own like Czech chapter. So
Yeah, I remember that Dominic.
yes, from let's see, that was Mike Toon and Peter Markley against Alan
Yes.
and Dominic.
Yep. That was funny as hell.
See a mountain which I shouldn't be able to see, and then it was clicking after the Evaranon. Yeah. But
Nice,
I also
and
did
also-
other tests after. You've seen some things of my channel. I did the fishing line. Then I did some refraction.
No.
falsification.
Tell us for sure. But one before you tell us about that experiment and where you did it. So in 2020, more or less, you got into flat Earth, right? I also heard you saying that you are a pilot.
No. I found other pilots who want to do this test now.
Listening comprehension.
Oh boy. I mean, it's funny either way, right? If it's a flat earther calling another flat earther who actually call themselves a pilot, or someone who just misunderstood, which is the Pika by default. Arnold for $5 says experiments number 1 hashtag. Look at the sun. Record your position, the time, the angle to the sun. Number 2, charter plane flights from specific airports. Blah blah blah. Yes, but they think that is
Much easier to
the way to
replicate.
go. Yeah, it's
Much
easier.
easier to replicate.
Yeah, because it's so cheap to rent, a plane and a pilot and the gas, and then go do it somewhere else. No, that's easier. Definitely easier.
I have 2 pilots who want to replicate the tests now more. Yeah, I'm not. No. I did normal university study. I was in the office. I did media economy. That was my thing. And I did a video series about the rigged money system. So I was aware of this rabbit hole long, and I know there's better ways to do economy and community. So I was in conspiracies looking into this longer. Yeah, but not. I did technical in university, but not specifically in
Oh
flying.
my
no.
God! Finish a thought.
Awesome, cool.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
this
Cool,
experiment,
cool.
tell us about this line experiment and where you did it, like, and how you got the idea and where exactly you did it.
Yeah, I was wanting to have something without optics. I also heard about Brian Mullen. If you heard of him, he wanted to build the structure, the structure of wood completely straight, and see what is the deviation from that. But it would be too costly. Then I thought,
He wanted to make a straight structure of wood.
Right.
Which do you know of any wood that wouldn't bend at longer than, I don't know, a 2-meter plank?
Well, I mean, even if you're talking about like a 2-meter plank, right? An 8-foot board, you still have to like nail them together. They have to be flush. What's your tolerances? What's your error in the margin? Because how far does a board have to bend, for the curvature in the span of 8 feet?
Yeah, you can.
It's still going to flex. What happens if it's wet? What happens if it's hot? What happens if it's cold? All this shit matters.
I mean, you couldn't even do it, do a significant structure out of something like cast. That would also, it wouldn't work.
Earth big, Flurf brain small.
It make a beam long enough, it will arch.
Yeah.
On its own weight, dumbasses. Pable, for 750 Uruguayan pesos, he's not even a pilot light.
He's pilot adjacent. He knows a pilot.
Yeah, he's very aerodynamically adept.
Let's do something in
Right.
the water because it could be easier. Yeah, so I just simply tested it, and I tested some fishing lines. I thought it would be easier when I started because I thought there must be a fishing line which in the water remains one surface, but it's not that exact. The fishermen, they don't care so much because they put something on the end and they don't care.
Oh my God, Flat Earther discovers fishing. Love it.
He puts something on the end or another. I don't know what, like a hook or a weight. Or, I don't know what the words are, but he puts something on the end and he throws it out.
That you have to be careful when you cast like that, because if you get hit with a plumb in the back of your head, you're done. Yeah. Flat Earther discovers fishing. That is a lovely short. I think it's you, Specs. You're having some interference.
Yeah, no, I'm back. I was just out of the range because I was getting a drink of water. I'm in front of my.
How dare you? How dare you?
For the line exactly. So I needed to twist two lines together, two fishing lines, and but this worked. But this took me some time. So I built myself a wheel, a spinning wheel, where I could twist two lines, and then I tested those two lines. I put in water, and they remained one altitude in the water. In the water depth, they remained, and then I got I pulled it straight, and yeah, and it remained at one altitude. One guy on one side pulled the fishing line, and on the other side, my wife was looking at the scale, and I swim to the middle. And yeah, if it was a globe, it would be more than this. It should sag down more, but it remained one altitude.
What was the distance then that you did this? Like, how long was the line?
I know only kilometers, 2.7 kilometers. Yeah.
It's not small, 2.7 kilometers. What, do you have to use a boat or something?
Yeah, I swam with a paddle boat. Afterwards, I thought the electric boat much easier. It was a long time I needed to paddle.
So you really...
He paddled. Oh. He does have. I think we need to watch that some other time, because that sounds a lot of fun.
It's
passionate to...
Yeah. I know that Jesse is thinking of doing something like that, but actually doing it correctly. So I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Prove the earth right flat. That's good. Yeah. You are there in the water and all these things. Yeah, for sure.
When you once are convinced about it, you want to test for your own, and then even more convinced, you do all the tests. What's necessary for it. Yeah.
Nice. So in the end, what did Man of Stone did his experiment? Because what was going on Globebuster with ILS?
No, he didn't do it. Man of Stone lives in Uruguay. That it costs an arm and a leg to do that here. No way.
Stone actually did have some sort of experiment, because they came with numbers and stuff like that, because I guess they ran something at like 30 or 35 nautical miles away from the airport, like in Vietnam, in Ho Chi Minh City or something. But I mean, I don't want to speak too far out of it, but let's just say that the data that was gained from that experiment was not exclusive.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Did he do it, or he was still explaining what was happening there?
It was he had planned it for 4 years now, and presenting things, and after 2 years of showing what he's planning, because he's really the flight simulator guy, he knows all about the technical things, and then
he's the flight simulator guy, knows all about the technical things. Which things? Can we start listing them? Because
math.
I mean, Kevin said that Alan is a math genius. So I think your judgment is impaired, to say the least. Kevin, oh my God, dude.
Pilots were contacting him, and they sent him data from their instruments. So now this test, what we presented at Dr.Shiva, we wanted to do it even better. We want to remain one altitude. The plane isn't even landing to prevent lack of instruments, but the pilots sent him results from landing, normal landing, the instruments, the ILS data, the DME, everything, the distance, and from this you can see it is also close, less than 1% off flat, and more than 10% it was the result differed from the globe, so 9% more difference, and very close to flat. Yeah, so we have some results, even longer distances, because now we want what we presented was 20 nautical miles, and you heard they claim margin of error is too big. Oh bullshit! They
Yeah. I mean, you literally crumbled when they ask you what's the margin of error and how do you know?
Can't be bothered with things like that.
Right? But
Those
I mean,
details
we
don't
all
matter.
saw it. We were all watching it happen live. Kevin, what the fuck are you talking about?
a lot of crazy. The tool even showed a localizer beam, not even the beam which is the ILS beam, but one beam which measures something completely different, the vertical, not the horizontal. Yeah, but yeah, it's accurate, the signal, because the planes couldn't work if it would differ too much, and the pilot sent even data from how much was it? Was it 35 nautical miles? Yeah, I think something like.
Kevin, it needs to fit a fucking plane, so it needs to be wide enough so that it catches it and that you can safely fly through it. Kevin, what are we talking about?
Look, it still comes down to this point right here, regardless if you're up here or down here. Margin of error out here is bigger than margin of error in here. Just because planes can use it doesn't mean that it. Oh God.
No, but it's better, they say.
Double the distance what we were planning now, so we have data from double the size. Yeah, and it's more
in favor of flat Earth, right?
Less than 1% off, and we think this little bit of difference is because it's going down. It's and the instruments are a little behind, But if you look at the globe value,
okay, the instruments are a little behind. Behind how?
Okay, so let me just address a couple things, because Kevin's not actually talking about it. He's talking about lag in the altimeter and stuff like that. But here's what I want to talk. I mean, I'm going to get into that into my video and stuff like that. But there's one point I want to bring up about Stone's thing that he's talking about, the 1% within flat Earth and none of it was within the globe Earth.
Okay.
When they ran the first test, according to their methodology, when they looked at the results, everything came back as concave.
Okay.
So then they decided to change the methodology based off the information they already have, and I guess reverse engineer flat. Now, if you do a test and the results come back completely different than what you were expecting, don't you think that might be a you problem?
Yeah.
You're testing two hypotheses. It's going to be globe or flat, but yet you're getting concave results. Something tells me that there's a systemic problem with what you're trying to do.
I think like what happened with Red and Denmark.
Yeah.
Right. That's a best example of that.
Yeah, Reds and Bubbles. Yeah.
Bubbles. Oh.
It was 10% off. 10% is much more than the 1% off flat. So much closer to flat. Yeah.
Kevin can do math.
Crazy. It's crazy, man. So this is the thing.
I'm sorry.
So Kevin can do math. 10 is bigger than 1.
Yes. I mean, that's all you need, right?
Yeah.
To debunk the globe.
In the end, it's like they knew that what could be the result, so they did everything in the book to take out problems so this doesn't happen. Right.
I think, yeah, or maybe they thought we present something else, like my test from the fishing line, and because they thought I come up and they already have it in their mind to do the error, margin of error. This was their agenda. This is
no, because we always do the margin of error thing for everything. because we need to know how far off we can be to make sure that we are not that far off
Yeah,
when we,
because
we build stuff, right?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
they would have said celestial theodolite, we would have said, what's your margin of error? If they would have said fishing line, we would have said, what's your margin of error? That's the first question out of our mouths, because you need to know what the margin of error is to see if it's exclusive. It's not hard.
yeah, because everything would have a margin of error. You know, everything's
But
gonna.
no, we measure it's perfect. That's the Flurf way.
Oh, but if it's not, but if you don't use a ruler which has a margin of error, then it's a calculation or a measurement, and
Mhm.
and this is the problem with flat Earth science, is that following Toon's third law of Flurf, one flat Earth claim is contradictory to another flat Earth claim, no exceptions.
Mm.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Is inherently apparent due to perception.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
No, I get that. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's completely dismiss their tests and to look at the sky only and nothing here. And yeah, this was their agenda, and nothing. Let's look at something we can find. This was their plan. Because you saw that. I don't know if you already looked at it. I haven't seen the first parts. This other guy there, the supposed claimed radio wave expert. Yes, he looked at the paper.
The supposed something he said.
Yeah, let's
Love
back it up
that.
a little bit. I want to hear what he says here.
Because you saw that. I don't know if you already looked at it. I haven't seen the first parts. This other guy there, the supposed claimed radio wave expert. Yes,
Dan.
I
he
don't know
looked
what
at
he
the
said because
paper
he
where
started speaking.
expert. Yes,
Dan.
he looked at the paper where they did typo, or you don't find it anywhere else. This value, because the day after, or the week after, I showed from the Federal Aviation Agency the right amount, how much the error is, and it is much less. He checked something which is completely wrong. It was in his.
I see Dan is shaking his head. No.
No, I showed what is the international standard. He showed basically measurements that showed that the system can act better than the standard, which is what we would expect, because the standard is the minimum requirements you have to meet to be certified.
Right.
That's the measurement. That's what you have to be. That's the one that you go off of, not what every variable different airport has for a different standard that could be plus or minus changing during the day. The standard is based on things that, when you account for variables, it's still within a specification. It's agreed upon by experts and a consensus, and by every airport that needs to be certified has to meet that standard. That's what I showed them. And he thinks that and this is the best part, he thinks it's a typo because we were asking about plus and minus error margin when it says that the error, that the total error for the DME was 0.6 nautical miles. He thinks that there's a typo.
Yeah, how can it be plus and minus? No, that's a contradiction, bro. Yeah.
How would a standard have a typo?
I mean, mistakes happen. We are imperfect creations.
Right, but somebody would have caught
That's
it
what
during
they
one of
said.
the reviews before they released it.
Well, I mean, that is just too much faith on the globe, my friend.
Yeah, that's true.
Own
It is a
document debunked what he was presenting. In his own document, it's showing 2 or 3 times a much fewer number, lesser number. Sorry, I'm German.
Oh yeah, no worries. And this is the thing, right? The other guy with the radio signal, all right? Because Dr. Shiva, he didn't have really idea what was going on. Like, he was trying to moderate and be the scientific guy, but
The
Do you
level
know
of
what Shiva did his doctorate on?
No, not really.
Radio propagation.
Oh, that's cool. That's
So
cool.
he had a real good idea what the fuck was going on.
Right? Mr. Gustafsson for 100 secs. Going to bed. Godspeed, Max. Thank you so much. Hope you have a lovely night.
Yeah, I mean, this is some good quality cart that's being produced. It's really good
I'm going to
stuff.
start doing lines of cocaine here in a minute.
Oh yeah.
Max, for $5, says not going to have some money, Max. Thank you so much. Everyone is so in the spirit of the holidays. That is very generous. Thank you both.
He didn't really know what the hell to do or say exactly technically, right? So when that other guy was speaking about radio signals and trying to track that signals and the wave, right? So he was making excuse because when he asked him how much those radio signals can go, and he said 300 plus miles, and Dr. Shiva was scratching his head, right? If that radio signal is already
And Dr. Shiva was scratching his head. What?
He didn't know
it
the
was
power
very
output.
clear. It
I
was
told
very
you the power
clear.
output, and it goes upwards of 300 nautical miles because you can talk to ISS on the thing.
If you aim it, like, for
Yeah,
example,
yes, you use a
upward.
directional antenna. And again, these are all the variables that go into radio that they don't understand.
Yeah, but how can it go 300 miles?
reaching 300 miles, what experiment do you want to do?
This doesn't work with the globe function. Huh? And I don't know if Shiva knows about their excuse. They claim about the ionosphere is bouncing and this bullshit. but no, this then was.
That's something else. It was a part of Dan's thing. And I'm not an expert on radio, but I've never used like an actual radio.
So, the ionosphere is not an excuse. It's a phenomenon that we understand very well, and it's frequency dependent. If you're below a frequency, it gets absorbed. If you're above a frequency, it goes right through it. The frequency we were choosing to do the lighthouse experiment, which I think he's referring to, is in the UHF range. It was 476 megahertz, I think it was. And the funny thing is the ionosphere stops absorbing, depending on latitude and variable stuff like that, at around 40 megahertz. So 476 megahertz, 40 megahertz.
Right. I mean, but it wasn't even the intention. You were doing horizontal, like aiming the way to the horizon. So
using a directional antenna. Yep.
Guy says Tune absorbs all frequencies. Yeah, he's just there. The inverse square law of light is just Tune, just slowing down the light with his hands.
Suggesting tests straight above water, which is way worse of a test if you believe in refraction and all this.
I'm not saying shit.
I don't worry, I got you.
Sorry, did he just say if you believe in refraction?
Yes.
Did I hear that right?
Yeah, say if you believe in refraction.
He said that. I'm not having a fever dream. He said that.
No, he did say that.
Specs, if you watch the Shiva call, he had a very hard problem differentiating wavelengths between optical, wavelengths, visible light, and radio wavelengths, which are much lower. And he was saying that the same things apply. So you can't shoot over water. It's going to cause refraction, which we know, and it's going to, and it's going to cause mirages and all this other stuff. And we're talking about radio.
Yeah, okay. I'm keeping up. Continue. Yeah, okay. That's, I just want to clarify that sentence is what I actually heard because...
Hold on. I got it. I got this. Because, it's not a position of... it's not something you believe on, right?
We've studied it since 1932. T.L. Eckersley did it off the Empire State Building.
These things are my belief in refraction. Because when I take this shit off, I don't see anything. I see awfully.
Yeah, I also have specs.
Because we understand refraction, some very crafty people can grab some pieces of glass and carve them and they put them here in this plastic. I go like that, and all of a sudden everything is visible again.
Yeah, it's IMO specs
So
as well, and it's yeah.
So we do believe in refraction, but because I have a demonstration of it working.
Yeah,
From
so
the
do I.
first the first thing I do every day is put on my glasses, and the last thing I do is take them off, and that is a whole lot of demonstration of refraction actually working. Kevin, oh my god.
These things. If you believe in this, you want to do it completely where it's less humidity, where it's less water, water particles.
But where do you get consistently high buildings that you can have 3 different heights for the transmitter, right?
Right, which is the only variable that you are manipulating during the entire project.
Right. Damn, Karen. Arnold, for $2, glasses are globe-called religion garbage, not science.
Yeah.
I mean, it is pretty good indoctrination, allowing people to actually see the world. Like, if you could actually see what I see when I take the glasses off, then you would literally understand.
Take your blindness and my color blindness and put them together, and you would be fucked.
Pretty much, yeah. If we lived still in the wild, we would both. I'll probably be more, because I actually don't see anything.
Well, and here's the thing: like, he's trying to explain that we should do this over the desert. Not understanding how radio works, because salt water is the gold standard that you want to use because of its conductivity.
Conductivity, yes.
An arid desert is not what you want to use. It's the polar opposite. It's like a 5,000 times difference as far as the conductivity scale goes. It's even more probably than that, actually. And it's obscene.
Right. Oh, Kevin. Why did you volunteer yourself as tribute? I wonder.
It's less difference, and with it playing at higher altitude, you have these standards. If you listen to Ruhif, even Ruhif says we need to go up if we want to do good tests. So this we wanted to address this, but yeah, I think.
Yeah, but what was Ruhif talking about? Because I suspect you're lying here, Kevin.
Here's the thing: they think that by having altitude, there's no refraction.
Right.
But you're still 20 nautical miles away.
Right.
So you're going to still have refraction.
Arnold says, wait a minute, Shiva got 2 colorblind Glovers.
Yeah,
this
true.
was rigged.
That's right. Toon's colorblind too. I forgot about that.
That is, wow. Conspiracy.
The best Glovers are colorblind.
Colorblind gate. It started.
The second week, then he dismissed his trial because he saw that it's bullshit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, even in like hundreds of years ago, Marconi did send a signal over the Atlantic. That was in a straight line. I don't know how these guys don't really do the research before getting.
Oh boy. Do you want to correct him on that, or?
This is part, like, the first thing we learned. Week 1 is about HF frequencies and Marconi and how it all worked and what we learned from that experiment and everything else. It has nothing to do with the Lighthouse experiment. It has nothing to do with ILS. Completely, it's not even different fruits. It's a fruit and vegetable.
Right. No, but Marconi over a flat Earth.
That's right, because the ionosphere was a post hoc ad hoc excuse. Just ask Witzy.
Right. The funny thing is, if you think about the geometry, if you aim a wave that actually does do the bounce and you aim it towards the horizon or just a little above the horizon,
Mhm.
and it keeps traveling, you can like do a great
Yes.
amplification of the range with that 90-degree angle.
But
If
here's
you
the thing too, when
line
you
it up,
do,
right?
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, because your angle is shallow, but you can also go through the ionosphere depending on the frequency, because there's a critical frequency, there's a critical angle, there's all these variables that are going to go into this. But yes, you can go for 1,000 miles that way, and you can do it very, as long as you have the power, because the ionosphere is going to attenuate the signal. So as long as you
Yeah.
have the power in your transmit and you have the gain in your receive, it's not a problem. It's done daily.
Right. That is, oh my God, there's
And the
so
ionosphere is tested daily. I just want to explain that.
right.
Like they send up balloons with radio suns on them to take measurements, and they also do frequency scans at various ground stations around the globe, so that way we can make radio forecasts, because radio is important to things like aircraft and marine and just
And,
communications
yeah.
as a whole.
Yeah, we just when you look at the maps of like in flight radar and marine traffic, there's a lot of people out there that doing different kinds of jobs and leisure and whatever. We need to know where these people are, right? In case they have an accident or whatever. Pretty amazing. And I was like, no, the earth is flat, bro.
I
into
take
something
it
like
as
this.
I think it's an utmost compliment that when because Astronomy Live was originally going to be on this panel,
Yes.
and he had something scheduled, so he wanted to know if I would take it. And I said sure. And then when we find out that this was the experiment that they were going to produce, being a radio experiment, as Astronomy Live said, he goes, "You are the perfect guy to have on that fucking panel."
Right.
So
yeah, that was a nice coincidence. But I mean, Kevin was not impressed. You were asking questions and attacking, and
right? And then they sound very, we are very scientific and we know the method. And this is what I was saying here also, right? They just get lost so much in the sauce of method that they don't do the actual science.
Oh my God, I almost showed myself. They get lost in the sauce. They don't do actual science.
right.
Yeah.
What actual science has Vika done?
All of it.
Okay.
Yeah. All of the science. My mom bakes cakes for $2 Thank you so much. Jaren's a hilarious imitation of Vika on Wattcast. Yes, I did see that. It is insanely good. So check it out if you haven't.
Yeah, this is the plan. I think I don't know if it's by intention or if it's by accident what they do, but too much in the details. Yes, but radio wave is a good thing to prove flat. Nickerbine also, this Second World War tests also is.
Yeah, how'd that work out, by the way?
They don't use it anymore.
Yeah, wonder why that is.
I haven't heard of the Knickerbine in a long time. They used to. They latched onto that for a good 2 weeks.
Well, no, I let them run with that for 6 months before I did something.
But the golden age of that was for like 2 weeks. Everyone was crazy talking about the Knickerbine and how it proved flat Earth.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden they stopped.
Wonder why they stopped.
Interesting, I would say.
Could it be
this weapon where you have also two beams?
Yes. Yeah, it was more than one, actually. There were quite a few I saw. Yours was very comprehensive, but Ruhif, Dave McKeegan, they all addressed it in their own way, and it was amazing.
And we have the ILS R2 beams, so it's always more accurate when you have two beams and look for the center of those two beams. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Kanikevine was 2 beams also, dumbass. Oh my.
not
but
the localizer.
yeah, our opinion, Kevin here was like, even though, yeah, it's a very good experiment, but it's still dicey. It still could have made predictions for the globe. These people who would have manipulated to make it that it was a globe, right?
How's your sleight of hand? How's your instrument manipulation? How's your magic, Dan?
I can pull a rabbit out of Vika's ass. Let's put it that way.
Damn. Oh my God.
These guys were capable, right? So in
Yeah,
a
I
way,
wasn't that well prepared, but if you are well prepared you can argue against them because I was holding in the empty paper that a large.
No, I mean, no. Well, some of you might, not you, Kevin, not you, and especially not the crowd you hang out with, like the Blobs and Man of Stone and Witted, and none of them can argue shit. So, and the problem is when you're in the context of a debate, those strategies might get you somewhere with the stupid people. But when we're talking about organizing an experiment and doing a measurement and this and that, those strategies go out the window because you formulate your own position. You don't get to dictate the other's position. You're responsible for your own, and you have to hold your own, which is something you don't like. That's why you don't make claims all of a sudden, right?
Well, and even there, I mean, if you think about it, when we presented the sun location calculator, right? That was, there's not a word of flat anywhere in there.
Right.
I checked it 3 times to make sure that the word flat was not in there. We were not assuming anything of theirs, but yet Kevin's experiment was all about, this is what the globe's going to predict. And it's like, that's not your job. That's our job. Present the methodology, and then we'll build a model. You presented your methodology. We said you had problems with error margin. We still worked on what our prediction would be. And lo and behold, our prediction was almost exactly the same as what their prediction was for flat. So not an experiment?
No, but 1%. 1%. 1%. Oh boy.
Number of trials will average out any margin of error because you see it's rather on the one side and rather on the other side, because if we can agree that if you have data points all over the place, then we dismiss the test. But if we have
no, you don't need to dismiss the test. Oh my God, dumbass. You just need to know what the variation in that, because it will be a band. It won't be like a pinpoint location. The result will have. It's insane when they think of like real life as mathematically precise. For some reason, I don't get that.
Yeah, the absolute.
Error Shiva was forget all science done before. Fleurs took that literally. That is true. Sorry, Dan, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say it's, and that's a valid point too, is like, when they talk about Shiva wanted to make sure that everything was done, like basically no historical references of anything that was already done. We're doing this ourselves.
Right.
So this is where, things kind of go sideways. So
they can't follow instructions. That's the problem. That's a big problem.
Clear data on the one side or in the middle, but not on the other side, like on the basket for the for globe or flat, then we can call this a legitimate test. And we have now considered all margins of error from the FAA, from the Federal Aviation Agency, all the data accurate. And yes, you have a small overlap. Like you said, okay, they can argue, oh, this is overlap, this could be globe also. But you hear my point. If you have it on the flat side, and in this middle portion, if you have, let's say, 10 tests, and you have some of them on the flat side and not on the globe side, Yeah, then it's clear. But with this 4
Dumbass.
Was that clear to anybody?
Yes. I mean, like, Kevin, you can't even explain it. It's because it doesn't make sense. And if you have to do like 10, let's say 10 passes with a plane, and you will get maybe 6 results for flat and 3 results for glow and 1 inconclusive, that just means that the test is trash. If you do reciprocal zenith angles, you will always get more than 180 degrees, no matter what. That's a reliable test that anyone can do. For fuck's sake. What is specs? You got this. You have some background noise coming through.
Well, my mic's.
5 pilot data that we have, it's never closer to globe. So this is already
maybe they already had the information that it's been done,
Maybe.
and that's the reason that they were really trying to not make this happen.
Like the dude just invented a conspiracy like that on the fly.
Yeah, that's the only thing flat earthers are good at, is just inventing these crazy conspiracy theories off the fly. Like, yeah, they just invent these like crazy theories, like all over the place. Like, yeah, I mean, it's really something. I guess it's that paranoia that all flat earthers have.
Yeah, I've
Dude,
never
that is-
heard of this experiment prior to 2 days before the first stream.
Right?
So,
But no, apparently you already have the results.
right.
maybe yes.
So another thing, Kevin, how come you alone was there? How come nobody else was there? And how come what happened?
Yeah, I think I by accident I got the mail from Shiva. He didn't want to send this to me. Like, no, this guy is not big. This guy is not big. As if some of his colleagues were worried that he sent some people who are streaming all the time and who are rhetorically well. It's just my idea, but I know for a fact that he threw out Witsit with no arguments, and he threw out
Oh
Stone
my god.
with no argument. So it is.
No, why are you you're just straight up lying? Witsit got took like 4 days to reply, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, 4 days.
And some other people got uninvited because of other stuff.
But here's the other thing too that he's saying. He's saying, like, there is other people there who could speak, more rhetorically, or could speak better rhetorically. Again,
No, they don't.
not a fucking debate.
Kevin, these guys have you convinced that you can just out of a science experiment, that you can just word salad your way to an experiment or a measurement being invalid. They lied to you, Kevin. You're too dumb, and now you look like an absolute fool in front of everyone. And now double fool, because you're here and I don't remember how long, but you're going to claim victory on that whole interaction, Kevin. You're the Lulu, and I'm so glad that is actually a word now that we can say.
It is legitimate to think that, and I am never debate in speaking. It was my first, and it was in another language, so it was like a easy for them to serve.
It's not my language. Who cares? I mean,
It wasn't a debate, was it?
It wasn't a debate, number one. And then if you're not confident enough in your skills and you lose, then don't. It's like, have you ever seen me cry about on a debate? It's like, English is not my first language. No, I actually do the opposite. I flip it around. I tell them that they're losing a debate to someone whose native language is not English. Dumbass.
For Toon thought, this guy I can put in my pocket, and I didn't do the best job, but I think I did better for my first debate than they expected. I think they chose me because they didn't expect anything from me.
Yes, we didn't expect anything from you, and we were still disappointed, Karen. Yeah. So it's a hard thing for something like that to happen.
When the bar's on the ground and you still find a way under it,
Yeah.
like that's a skill.
He's like, hold on, what? But why are you getting a shovel? He's like, hold on.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Oh my god.
And would make fun of Flat Earth, what is McToon doing on his channel all the time, only picking up on bad Flat Earth arguments. Yeah.
I mean, they're all bad.
Yeah, there's not a single good one. So
we could do them all, and they're all bad. You just kind of. I mean, Kevin, I'm sorry to be the one that tells you this, but you're kind of dumb. Sorry.
Well, pretty much every flurf is.
Yeah, but he and Vika, they're both a very specific part of like gullible dumb.
You know, I have family who has autism, so I don't like to make fun of the term on the spectrum, but I honestly think we need to make a flurf spectrum for like a spectrum of dumb and where they fall into it.
A flurf spectrum sounds like fun.
Yeah, I think that's something we should work on next.
Yeah, because again, they're all going to fall on like they've got to have their, but it's got to be a spectrum measured in such a way that you can actually see a variance in dumbness. Because if we measure them on a spectrum compared to non-flat earthers, you're not going to be able to see a difference. You'll just see like random clusters from the general population and just all the flurfs like with each other. So you're gonna have to find a way to create some sort of variance.
You need to zoom in on the bottom of the barrel to find to be able to differentiate between them.
You need binoculars for that.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. This is the thing. No, they try to like use that advantage to the advantage, right, of not being the first language. But even like this, right, you did a great job. But also,
he's such a wordsmith. He's so good with words. Hold on.
His vocabulary depth.
Again. Oh my god, they're just an insult to all of the years that I spent to learn the English language. The only more egregious case is Demok. Demok makes my brain hurt the way that he speaks. It's like
English is supposedly his first language as well.
Yeah, like motherfucker, civilize yourself and speak properly, please.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. This is the thing. No, they try to like use that advantage to the advantage, right, of not being the first language. But even like this, right, you did a great job.
Oh my god, I love how Vika speaks with absolutely zero grammar. Love it.
But also like with McToon, right, my first ever debate, official debate and only debate that I had is what with McToon on Jeranism. And English is not my first language. And everybody know how I destroyed him. He was like very proud of saying it was his 5 years debating people. And that was...
Yeah, and you got absolutely crushed in the Vika. You're not fooling anyone. You know, we can all go watch that video, dummy, right? Demok is unmuted in EA. Oh my god, no.
My first debate, right? When you have the truth, it doesn't matter in which language or at what tempo or what way you're putting it out there, it hits them.
So then what was all the crying? Well, my English is not my first language. And now it doesn't matter all of a sudden because you have the truth? Okay.
That is the reason they were there, three of them attacking you. Because the other guy was saying that he was a flat earther. He didn't freaking say a word. Why did he was there on the panel? Looked like he was from Shiva. Who was that guy?
No, but I think he's a genuine flat earther. He just saw that I have something well prepared, and he had nothing prepared. So he better kept these minutes with what was attributed to us. He better kept.
You're not clearing up because that was the question. Like, if he had nothing to do there, why was he even there? I need to go to the toilet. I'll be right back.
For me, because I was prepared. Because in the pre-text, pre-mail, he was looking genuine. Yes, Shiva chose him because he know him from the past something, But when I wrote with, so I was suspicious in the beginning, but when I wrote with him, he's also in the Lindsay and the Tube of Illumination Patreon, and I saw that he has genuine questions there. But I think he left the stage for me, who prepared at least something. It's of no help when then second. I see this on the 2-on-2 debates, on Modern Day Debate, when Witzit was there with someone who didn't know too much, then better keep it to the one who has something prepared. This is, I think, was the strategy. I didn't even speak with him afterwards. But that's what I think.
Damn, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Good that it didn't.
Oh my God.
He was prepared.
Yeah,
if he was the most prepared of the bunch, they were fucked to begin with.
Oh my God, Kevin. No, they gave you what they think are some ways to dodge the debate, but this was not that. So they even failed at giving you the strategy to win. Even if that was a debate, those strategies do not win debates. You can just cry and call everything a fallacy and expect it to do anything.
Wait, here's something I just want to point out. Not once did Toon, myself, or Shiva, or anything else say anything whatsoever about it being a second language, or that he used the wrong word, or his grammar was off, or anything like that. Like, we were waiting for him to get to the point and explain it and everything else. There was never anything that said, oh, we picked him because he doesn't understand the English language or something like that. Like, it was never part of that. Like, he was given ample time to explain things through and walk them through.
But I mean, this is the coping, right?
Right.
Yeah, I hope that. I mean, that was a particularly strong line of cocaine. That one, particularly strong. That one.
Yeah, he's sneezing all over the place.
Happen. And you have any idea what Lindsay was up to, like, with this, or he didn't had the opportunity to even say what he?
Yeah, he said and I will test this, but it's the magnetic field, what he figured out some time ago, that it doesn't.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Lindsay with playing around with magnetic fields, he's going to lose a finger. For sure. That is whack. Lindsay, you need to be careful, buddy. You're going to build a custom railgun and end up getting hurt.
He's gonna be like that strong man from like the 30s and 40s, where they fire a cannon into his midsection.
Right.
He's gonna be like, I am an electromagnetic wizard. Watch me work.
Zap.
To the globe that he says that in the tropics, in between the tropics, the magnetic field shifts and it fits to his model. But then Stone and the others were saying, yeah, well, it's like also looking in the sky at something. It's not so much exclusive. But
yeah. But then what about McToon? He loved the sun so much.
Yeah,
he's back to the sun.
Except it wasn't McToon, as you guys say. It was me.
Right. I have, hold on. I have what you sent me. I think that's a great illustration of why. Here, copy link. Boom, boom, boom. There we go.
Oh, yeah, this one.
If you plot this on a flat Earth, looks like that. But,
the sorcery.
Oh no, that's just magic. And then also you can check. That doesn't work.
It's not concave.
Huh. I wonder why this works. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. Do.
By the way, I sent you something in DMs.
In DMs. Hold on. Okay. Hold on 1 second. There we go. That was fast. So we have the tourist
win.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok. The parrot. I don't know what it means, but I am saying it loudly. My chart proves something, I think. Everything is CGI. Margin of error, never heard of her. The pseudoscience prophet. The flat earth laureate of derp. I don't need predictions. I have feelings. Love that. The event horizon of stupid. Everything is a conspiracy except me. Yes. The derp god. Math is descriptive, therefore reality is optional. I love that one.
I present to you the Flurf spectrum.
That's pretty cool. All right. Let me go back
Same.
here. Is that a spider? Yes, that's a spider.
What's next?
Right. Yeah. I made you guys must look at my summary. I made a funny meme that those guys, they look at the sky and they stumble about the level on.
Oh, he made a meme, you guys.
Guys, it's over. He made a meme.
He made a meme. You're never recovering from that, Dan. He made a meme.
It's over, Dan. It's over.
It's over.
Which is on the ground, because only the head in the sky and not seeing the obvious on the ground. That is then even presented this celestial sphere model, which is flat on the middle. You know, always when they do celestial navigation, they have
No. No, I did not. Where did I present a celestial sphere?
I don't know, but you did. Kevin said it.
I'm starting to think that Kevin's a little disingenuous here and kind of makes shit up as he goes. Was he even on the call?
Maybe. I think maybe he was just tweaking the whole way through. I don't know. It's very weird because I watched all of the things, most of it live, some of it I took a nap. But I did watch most of the thing. And Kevin is not describing the thing that I watched. I'm sorry.
this nice
ball
circle on the top, but you need to cut the globe in the half, that you are in the center of the globe, and this is flat again. So he showed this, and Lindsay was also laughing about this.
No, I mean, I think that image is on the Oakley show. You might be very confused, Kevin.
I think he is.
This diagram, because this is for the flat, and I tried to, in my part, because I needed to look strategic on the second week. I wanted to point that out, that its perspective is completely over.
Oh, he was being strategic, you guys.
He was being so strategic on how to dismiss the experiment instead of coming up with a model, because that sounds like strategy that he needs to do.
Strategy. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it, Kevin. And
Kevin's like my all-time favorite Flurf now.
The reason why we ignore perspective is because it doesn't change the fact that some weird stuff happens with our eyes. It doesn't change reality, right?
I can make a prediction. Can he? No.
Right. Yeah. And the good thing with, for example, the sun is that we can all go and do like, where's the sun? Right there. And you can point to it. So it's a thing that is there that everyone can see. And everyone sees it every day. So.
And it's geometric exclusive.
Yeah, we can be next to each other and go, where's the sun? Like there. And we will both point at the same place. Dumbo.
Looked and mistreated, but then when I started with this, they cut me off. Because it's not enough to look at the sun and assume straight rays, to assume the gravity model, which was already debunked, to assume
nothing. None of that matters. Kevin, the experiment is, where's the sun? There. And then you have an angle from a horizontal, which you say is the ground, we say is a tangent, but we have an angle. It's as simple as we don't need to know what it is. We don't need to know how far it is. Where it's nothing compared to that.
And you can make an angle off of a foot, but put a ruler, right? Put a ruler right off your chin or off the bottom of your eyes. There's your vertical plane. There's your angle.
This is not hard. You don't need to accept gravity. You don't need to accept the distance to the sun. Don't need to accept what it is. Nothing. Like, where is the thing, the bright thing in the sky? There. That's it.
Yeah.
Very simple. Even a flirt could do it.
That we see in completely straight when everything else is looked at in perspective is going down in here. But when you look at the sun, it's only the Earth which makes the sun sink, and you can go on and on. Even the
Oh my fucking cat! Finish a thought.
This guy just rambles, man.
Oh.
God, there's not enough weed in the universe to go through this.
Oh my.
the user error. They want to they want to make it with the phone that the experiment is only with the phone, and they look at
Yeah, that way, if you design something simple like that, like downloading the Theodolite app for a couple of bucks on your phone, you can get a bunch of data from people all over the place.
He's getting to his point right here, though, Max.
I mean, you wanted to rent a plane, you dumbass.
Right, but here's the thing. He's getting to his point right now.
who looks at it at so much how you say with two different eyes.
Longitude, latitude. No, or from different.
Also longitude, latitude is assumption and is corrected for the globe. It has corrections there. But what I want to say is when the user is measuring, it has user error. We with our ILS test with the plane, we don't have the user error. We don't have to hold anything in our hand.
There you go. There's no user error when you're using the plane, but if you're using a Theodolite app on the phone, there's a user error.
1 second. Matthew Hakim's only experience is having tits and not being able to see his. Oh my! Oh my! That was a little bit unexpected. Why are you thinking of Matthew Hakim like that? That wasn't on my plans for tonight.
That's a visual I need to bleach out of my brain.
Yeah,
now.
no, oh boy. Where were we before that?
Kevin was making the user error.
Yeah, but then he's also saying like, oh, you can't hold something, while at the same time that you can't do anything to the sun because you can't go to the sun. Like, so Kevin, make up your mind. Is holding in your hand good or bad?
But here's the thing. But an aircraft, right, has no margin of error. It has no user error because they can put it on autopilot and everything's going to work perfectly and whatever.
Yes.
Explain that to me.
Fingers crossed.
Yep.
Very crossed.
Cross your fingers, your eyes, your toes, and everything else.
Yes.
And this is so much the craziness of Thun telling that we are so much off, which we aren't, when their test is much worse. I couldn't even get through. I tried a lot with the objections on the first. There was 2 pre-meetings, and already there I said this is not the test which is good, which no flat earther will accept, and they didn't at first pre-meeting didn't want to let any other test happen. I needed to fight that I could present something. It was me against them already for 2 other meetings where I.
No, the problem was that you were focused on trying to tear down their shit, and you didn't build up yours. That was kind of the thing. That was the idea.
And here's the thing. In the pre-meeting, he didn't say any of these things. He said that he doesn't necessarily agree that it's geometrically, because I said it's geometrically exclusive, when we're talking about the sun. And he says that he didn't agree with me, but if that's the experiment we want to do. Then we made an allocation of saying, let's go ahead and do 2 experiments since no one's going to agree on anything.
Right.
So they had theirs, we had ours. We were supposed to change papers and make our models and our predictions. What did Kevin show up with?
Nothing.
Less
than nothing. I was expecting nothing and I was disappointed. So imagine that.
Where I need to fight that I can present this one thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you have the con artist McToon there, right? Yeah, for sure he had something cooking and some optical shit prepared to make it look like a globe, right? What the hell was it?
Oh, it wasn't Toon. It was me. Go fuck yourself.
You were cooking some shit together to make it look like a globe.
Yeah, using spherical trig is going to make it a globe because it only applies to a globe. And if you assume, you remember when we did the assumptions, the very first assumption I made was that the Earth is a globe.
Right.
Which would be a quite a necessary assumption if you're using spherical trig, and also it's
Right. Now, if they assume the Earth is flat and they apply spherical trig, then wrong. Can't do that. You have to apply basic geometry and basic trig only.
yeah.
Mhm.
You can't
Yeah.
use globe math to prove something on a flat Earth. That doesn't fly.
Yeah, I mean it's the whole isn't that the base? That's the basis of MC Toon's $10,000 sextant challenge.
Yeah. But here's the funny thing is, like, Shiva said this, and Kevin, Adam repeat it like it was a gotcha.
Well, because he thinks he was in the frame of a debate and he could just keep on saying the same, but it doesn't work. It's a bad objection during a debate, and this was not a debate, so your objection was meaningless, Kevin. You're not very. They just sent you like a lamb to sacrifice. That was just the thing that happened. Sorry.
They had this claimed final experiment done last year, and now this was their aftermath. It was their after talk, and they had this planned, and you see.
Oh no!
Here's the thing.
I'm frozen.
There was another experiment presented for them to use and to agree upon that didn't use the sun, still used radio like they wanted to use with ILS, and took all the cost out of it.
But it seems like these excuses to me are just. It seems like all this rambling is just an excuse. This is what it seems to me. It's just an excuse for their incompetence because they don't want to admit their incompetence. That's what it sounds like to me, anyway.
Who's getting booty calls? Was it you, Specs?
That's probably my friend texting me. Yeah.
It is an absolute copium fest.
Love it.
They will do this next meeting alone, probably. And they didn't want too much interruption from the flat Earth side because they think they have now the circling sun in the there last year. And
oh, isn't that cute? They think they have now. Bitch, there's like 25 hours of video uncut in real time. Come back when you can debunk that.
Well, and let me just say, bitch, we've known the size of the Earth for thousands of years. So I got thousands of years to pull from.
That too, but
yeah.
And now they want to go on only about this, and this was why this meeting happened, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't think so. It's going to be happening more meeting regarding this. I don't think they're going to be doing the experiment. If there's no flat earthers anymore, it's not happening, right?
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, we won.
Yeah, because you guys
maybe they will go on their own and tell something about their claimed data, which we all know we happened thousands of times.
I mean, don't worry about that. The idea is... oh, boy.
Sorry, that was my friend. That was my friend. I'm not getting any booty calls.
Tell her to calm down. We're doing something. What was I saying? Before Specs booty call rudely interrupted me. That Dan will probably try his best to do his own part.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And
I'm going to wait till it's a lot warmer, though, because I don't want to be out on the Atlantic Ocean in the wintertime when it's cold and, waves are everywhere and I'm getting wet, because that would suck.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I'm actually contemplating flying out to Minnesota, meeting up with with Tune and maybe another content creator, and working
Nice.
it from that. Because there's a Minnesota lighthouse that allows us to do this as well.
Oh, cool. That's pretty awesome. So, I mean, no, don't sweat it, Kevin. We got you, bro.
Yeah, we got you covered, Kevin. Don't worry about
Yeah.
Where the sun is here or there, it's not exclusive to anything. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so
I don't know.
they will do their globe experiment. You mean like they know? I don't think they're going to be doing the flat Earth experiment by themselves to try to debunk themselves, right?
Oh, Vika.
You don't know me very well, do you?
Vika.
Now, look, he's got a point. I'm not going to do their experiment because their experiment is bullshit.
Right.
And I'm going to show them how it's bullshit in a 20-minute video or so, 20 to 30-minute video, and explain all the parts that are wrong. Stay tuned.
It will turn, spoiler alert, it will turn into a 12-hour live stream.
No, I'm not live streaming it.
It's been known to happen.
Yes, it has.
But I mean, they
We might do a New Year's live stream that's like 12 hours. Who knows?
will also not invite me again now when they already muted me in the end. And they afterwards also his colleague doctor was fussing on me and what do you think who I am, and this I couldn't even put a word there, and I just left them. So it was a,
Oh yeah,
and
these
it
people
seemed like
went
an
crazy.
ending,
Oh yeah, these people like
Oh, you mean like doing a 7, 3, 7, 11, 14, 6, 17, 20, doing 20 over 24 hours of content over a couple of videos. You mean
Yeah.
going crazy like that, Pika?
Two 2-hour or 2 1-hour, hour and a half long videos, and they milked it for how many hours? 20?
I have, 24, over 24.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
crazy. I'm going to play something, and I wanted to listen, right, so that the people also understand like what they were really there for, right? They were not really there for the truth, right? And they were really attacking you. And in the end, it was like they just knew it, and then they were like attacking you from everywhere, all right? Instead of like coming out with and doing it making it possible. So this shows that they were, in a way, as I say here to the chat also, right? It was good. Whatever happened, that it was good that this didn't go along, because that it's fall.
Oh, it was good that it didn't go along. Gee, I wonder why.
Because we would have proven it was a globe. That's why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would have just come up with another bunch of bullshit theories, like I don't know that because Dan, I don't know, had a cigarette or hit a vape next to a transmitter, it fucked up the experiment, or because the weather wasn't good that day, or they'll come up with something.
Apart even before it took off, right? It was going in ugly direction, because you see the character of Shiva, you feel it, right? You were there, you feel what's behind there him.
Oh, Kevin,
Okay.
that's an add-on, bro.
The character of him, like what? Of not taking bullshit, the bullshit that you've been dishing all these years, dumbass.
Trying to get into this.
I cut this off my live stream, unfortunately. But I caught it on Toon's live stream because he hung out after Shiva ended the call.
Yes.
And Prabhakar, who was the other Glober, who was basically he was the admin, or he was like the admin for Shiva and for this panel. He's a chemical engineer. He let Toon and I kind of run with this because this is more or less our realm. And but we still kept him in the loop in what we're doing. I sent my calculator over to him so he could see it and try it out and make sure that I was okay. But Kevin got verbally undressed and spanked by a lot of different people because of his inability to understand the scientific method.
No, but it was you guys. Am I frozen? No, I'm here. Sorry. My computer is being a little bit of a bitch.
Theme of flat versus globe, right?
Yeah, he's biased. He's completely biased. You could feel it after first time talking. Yeah. But you saw the difference, no? When he was in the first in January talking, he was like very. He
Sorry. I'm freezing.
sounded genuine. That's why I got interested. So he sounded like, yeah, we'll get these engineers. We will agree to one experiment. And
yes.
he was talking like this could be.
All right. Sorry, I'm back. My computer is being such a bitch. David gifted 5 Sherba Mate
Let's
Talk
go.
memberships. Shit. The tab that is frozen is the tab that I have the live chat on. Give me one moment. But that is what's making me actually freeze. Try to get that tab unstuck.
I've one of them went to David George 5531 received a membership. Tommy Gunford received a membership. Horse type received a membership.
Just say that. You can just say the name.
Lisa received a membership, and well, and GMAC received a membership as well. There you go.
All right.
So shout out to David for that.
It was completely made up, or yeah, I don't know.
Oh
Or
my.
maybe it just switched, or it was made up from the get-go. I don't know.
Oh yeah, already in the first meeting, in the end of the first meeting, already you could see that he was changing his colors, right?
Yeah. But I mean, now when he first started to investigate.
What do you mean he was changing his colors? He's Hindu. He's the same color as you, Vika. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the issue is that Shiva we all heard him present in the pre-meetings this ILS, and we brought up margin of errors, and we brought it up again in the call. And because he's an engineer and because he understands what an engineer means, margin of error was right in his realm. If he didn't account for that, he's already losing patience because you obviously did not think it all the way through, Kevin.
Poor Kevin.
Rather, like 1 year ago, this was what I mean. He was different, but in the first meeting, I already knew he was.
You mean the meeting?
Oh yeah. Wait, what was that little word that you wanted Shiva to? Oh, that's right. Post-diction. Where's your prediction for that, Kevin? Where now all of a sudden you always knew that he was, I don't know what, evil, a demon, or whatever the lame deflection you're thinking of right now.
That post-diction thing is a whole, I mean, he's basically saying that we went around and took readings for every minute, for every single house, backyard, latitude, longitude combination possible, and built the globe model around that. So that's why the calculator works. That's basically what he's implying.
Right.
Think about that for a minute.
mean, even if you did, even if it was done that way. Oh shit! Why am I freezing so bad today? I'm so sorry. Even if we did it that way, it would still mean that it's what reality dictates. Even if we post-dicted it like that and not predicted it, it would still work. So you're still in the same hole with that. Oh my, Kevin.
With Dave Weiss, you could see that he's interested.
He sounded interested, at least. No, he sounded like, let's make something happening. Let's make something with engineers. Let's agree all together. Let's agree. And there was nothing about agreeing anymore when this whole planning started already. Even the date he postponed it like half a year. So that and then lied about that.
So that what? Oh my fucking god! They both do the same thing. They start an idea, do a bunch of fillers, and then go on to talk about something else. Dude, it's so annoying. On a debate on MDD with this guy Gred, he was like, well, you know, and it freaks me out when people do that. And I was like, no, I don't know. Get it out. for fuck's sake.
You didn't provide something, but our side, we already in May, we proposed our test already in April and in May. Yeah, very, very early. And they didn't tell me anything about what they were planning there, only this 1 week before the thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, to come up with contra argument, right? So yeah, this is how they play. This is how they play. That's why they were so prepared.
You don't have, it's not a debate. You don't have to prepare a counter argument. This is not going to get you anywhere. This is science. You have to prepare a better test or provide an objection so insurmountable that you just need to discard the test.
Here's the funny thing. When I did that calculator thing, is I derived it all. I didn't go to someplace else and say, hey, give me a calculation to do this. I sat here figuring it out and putting it into a spreadsheet. In fact, I had some negative numbers that were kicking my ass. And it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, I think, my time, 2:30. I was still fucking around with it. I was in voice chat with people earlier. I was still in voice chat on the Unfornicated server. And Tori Hanzo comes in, who lives in Sweden, getting up for work during that day. And like, hey, thought I'd come hang out with you. You're still on? Like, I was still doing the math on it. It's like, I have a job. I have a career. I'm a single dad. I have all these other things, and I was still able to get my work done.
But the English is your first language. Okay. Someone has some noise and it's freaking me out.
Sorry, it might be me. I was tapping something on the desk.
I hate you. What does Witsit think about what Dan did?
Okay, so I'm going to clarify because you're using wizardry.
Abra fucking cadabra.
Yes, Abra mathemagic. I've heard them say. Oh,
right. With you. So yeah, I can play some things if you want. If you want to add something to clear something up, let me know. I'll play something. All right.
I stay for like 10, 15 minutes. Then I need to work early tomorrow. It's midnight almost. Here, but I stay a little bit more. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Spoiler alert: Kevin doesn't stay for 10 or 15 minutes. He stays a lot longer.
Ray, and we have the second day of our flat Earth Summit, and we were scheduled to have 3 panelists on the round Earth side, 3 on the flat Earth side. However, one of them on the flat Earth side has gone MIA, and there's some evidence that he was forced by one group not to show up because he
poisoning the well already,
which is unfortunate.
And already with just spurting out random fallacies. Okay. I mean, he's not poisoning the well because he's not saying that because one of them was not there, the things are invalid. You a dumbass.
Well, and he didn't even say what side.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was doing that all the time.
Yes.
Even in the first one.
First sentence.
So what we want to do today, as we discussed last week, was today is going to be really a day where the rubber meets the road, where each group has to produce the hypothesis, also known as mathematical models, for each of the 2 experiments. And to keep this clear for each mathematical model,
to which I didn't agree. Yeah, I didn't agree to this. They kind of forced me into this, or I would be banned already.
That was the whole thing the whole time, Kevin. No one forced you into anything. Oh my, what a dummy!
On the first meeting, because they said we do it with this, with our thing and the model for this, and you need to present something or it's over there. No, so I need to play along there. Yeah.
Oh, imagine that! The horror! They put me in a deadline that I had to present a model. This is slavery. The UN should know about this. Oh boy, Kevin.
Especially because in the emails it said that.
Oh boy. Poor Kevin. Everyone feels so sorry for you.
And he makes it look like, yeah, this is what we agreed from the beginning. But every meeting, the 2 pre-meetings and the first meeting, I always said, no, this is not a good test, what you suggest there. Not at all.
Oh yeah, Rob, this is the thing. Yeah, once they studied what is happening and how can they manipulate, that's how we started with this second session, like having the idea of how you can make it impossible. Let's hear it.
A mathematical model for the sun experiment, and the round earthers are going to propose
God has chosen Mikey to be the official firmament photographer. Oh.
a mathematical model for the airplane experiment, which we'll get into in detail. And then the flat earthers will propose their mathematical model for the sun experiment and their mathematical model for the airplane. That's what the goal is. And then in each case, we'll also agree, where the independent data source is going to come from, how the data is going to be captured, to validate those models.
It sounds like you're asking for a citation, right, Dr. Shiva, for where they're deriving the equations and so on. We have that for you.
When you say that, yeah, I am the citation. Get the fuck out of here, dipshit.
Thank you.
You know what, though? But I want to bring up something. We have a very good opportunity here because you remember how we have the call the moderator of Ryan, for
Yeah.
When Witsit was flailing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do remember that.
I mean, the other Flurf who just says hello and is mute the entire time is also named Ryan. So we could be calling out Ryan's name during this whole time, asking for input.
Hold on. I think it's this one. Yes, of course. Got it. I mean, if you bring it up, I will play it. Audio warning.
You did math and you could pass the test and not have to write the answers down. So why don't you tell me, how would you integrate this? What would be the proper way to integrate this?
No, dude, Ryan, why are you not moderating? What this guy is doing?
Witted. Witted is always so humble. He's just there. Toon has been releasing some videos, and on the Zoom call about the gear, Witted, you can just watch him like being there in the call, thinking like, I am the humblest one here. That is just marveling at his humbleness. He's just there looking humble about how humble he is. That it's amazing. I miss you, Witted. You need to please go back to making content. You are my spirit animal. You and Arwen.
We're going to use a scientific method. So let me sort of jump into the quick presentation.
So one question. So in the end, in this session, because I missed the first part, like I couldn't catch it live. So did you give them this margin of error in the end?
Oh yes. I presented a whole presentation about margin of error. Yeah.
And what was the excuse?
They claimed not much. They claim it is more, but this was before. So at first, Toon.
Not much.
I think someone is either lying or misinformed there, Kevin.
I'm starting to wonder if we were on the same call.
He might have connected to like an alternate reality Zoom where something completely different happened other than the one that everyone saw. I don't know. This is weird. We need some paranormal investigation on this bitch. No. Wait, hold on, because I need to sanitize them. What is gurning? Arnold says, I'll take that. Total non-answers for 1,000, Alex. What is this? Maybe Witted has a rare neurological impairment that confuses humble and gurning in his brain. I don't know what gurning is, but Witted does say stuff like this.
Horizon is inherently imperant due to perception.
And the horizon is imperant. And he also says stuff like this.
I think that air itself is not what people think it is, right?
What is air with it?
You have a gradient of tenuity.
That explains it all. No further questions.
That's a new one.
Yeah. No, further.
Yeah, and
It's actually, well, the sound, me using it as a sound clip is new, but it's actually from, I think, my 24-hour stream for my birthday. I was reviewing the first debate, Witsit versus Toon, that I could find, and Witsit said that. So, I mean, it's new as a sound clip, but not actually that new.
Toon present his claims about margin of error, and as I said, he showed the wrong beam, and then I clarified this with my chart, with Stone's chart, and then it went all over the place, like accusations, and it went really wild. So it was not good structured.
Accusations, really wild. Oh, guys, you gave him PTSD. That is adorable. Gurning is when addicts move their jaw non-stop. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that. We call it jawing, would be the literal translation of what we call it.
More like like at home studies. So it was not a scientific panel anymore. It was like you can't do eighth grade math. You need to go to eighth grade again.
Oh, you traumatize him, like you seriously hurt him. That is lovely. Kevin, it's going to be fine. It's okay. You just failed.
Not supporting his claim, like Shiva was telling that. Yeah, and then muting me all the time, and then let him speak again. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was managing Shiva in a way in this because, as I said, right, they were just having the method, and they were like, yeah, we are doing our science here, and we could see that Shiva didn't have idea of all these things, nothing, right? And also he
just said, he even speaks in like normal terms. He speaks contradictorily because he said, like, hold on.
And right, they were just having.
Pay attention to Vika.
The method, and they were like, yeah, we are doing our science here, and we could see that Shiva didn't have idea of all these things, nothing, right? And
we could see that Shiva didn't have idea all these things, nothing. He just said nothing. Oh my, they're so dumb. That is just wild.
Also, he sensed, or he must have had information that this experiment had happened and could prove a flat Earth, and about that whole radio signal thing experiment and how long it can reach. So, for sure, he tried to, I think, dismantle this in a way, right, and blame it on flat Earthers. Like, no.
And I mean, now this conspiracy started less than 5 minutes ago, and he already has it all nailed down and the details and everything.
They're not doing the right, correct way, and they don't know how to do science, right? These a-holes are calling themselves experts, right?
I never used that word expert. But Vika, you know what I do have? Experience, which means I have expertise.
A flat earther just try to stolen valor you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You know, it's funny. It's funny shit. Trust me, it's funny.
But like, he really did do that. Like, my guy, get some, like, get out in the real world, get your little feet wet, and then you can argue with Dan. I mean, can you point to where you put in a relay, right, or an antenna, or whenever you were able to dial in the AM radio in the car?
I don't even think he's done that without fucking it up.
No.
And McToon and the Dan guy, right? Experts, right? We went to this is the third part. We went into full review of this.
Nice. I will look after.
Yeah. So yeah, let's play it. Yeah.
But you have also this Brian this mic.
Yeah, they went into 24 hours of review of like 3, 4, 5 hours of video. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. There was a lot to unpack there. And people kind of bash at us because we watch a video, we pause it, interact with the chat, have a laugh, right? And these guys did 24 hours of content or more, probably more, because I was just counting the hours, not like the minutes. So it's probably more than 24.
Guy who looked at this Shiva versus Dave talk, and he found so much fallacies from Shiva already there. So they're not scientific at all.
Oh yeah, just shouting out loud of science, but really no science other than numbers and series and.
Really no science other than numbers. And yes, I think you should definitely change your screen name to that Dan guy. Yes. I mean, it does suit with that Dan guy with the Hawaiian shirt. Perfect description.
Yeah.
When will we see the rebranding of the channel? Before the 500?
What rebranding?
The rebranding to that Dan guy.
Oh well, yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm gonna have to put it through AI and see if it's whether or not it's got any legs.
Calculations and
the funny thing is the Shiva mixed up the scientific method. He forgot the observation part, which Dave had right even. And
okay, so Kevin just said that Shiva forgot about the observation part of the scientific method. Remember that, okay? Remember that.
Shiva had it wrong. What part came first? And he was all about scientific method, and he mixed it up on his own. This was funny. Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's play it a bit.
Today's proceed. How do I do the window? So, just want to make sure. Can everyone see this? Prabhakar, can you see this?
Yes. You haven't shared anything, but I see that you're about to.
I did share. Oh, that's weird.
It popped up there, then it left.
Oh,
Zoom is being Zoom again.
Okay. I may have to share the whole screen. Zoom does this sometimes. So let me share the entire screen, the whole desktop. I guess you guys can see that, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So this is day 2. We want to welcome. We invited people if they wanted to join the Zoom panel here. So there's a few people here, and then we're also broadcasting this on all different channels, YouTube.
Inventor of email. I can't not laugh at that.
Twitter, I think Facebook, etc. So we want to welcome everyone. I want to again review the history and mission of the summit.
Shout out to Justin Johnson. He's saying inventing the email but has problem with sharing a screen share.
Oh my fucking cat! Would you go watch Justin Johnson's streams and see if he does any better? JJ, shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah. The tech guy.
And we want to go into the format. We want to review day 1, and then we're going to go into the sun experiment. Round earthers and flat earthers will represent their mathematical models and the independent data sources. And then the airplane experiment will be, again, gone through the same models. There was a very, very important question that came up last time on the need to include error margins that was agreed upon. And then we'll go to next steps and we'll summarize. So day 1, what we did was we reviewed the scientific method. Some of you may remember this. The scientific method begins with an observation. Here's a simple example we went over last time.
Oh, shit. Look, Niken was saying, hold on, where the fuck is it? This is very uncolorful today. Very good, very nice. You asked for
It
it.
is better.
You got it.
Since it's Day of the Dead for Flurs, I figure we'll do the Day of the Dead shirt.
Nice. So Kevin, remember like 45 seconds ago when you just said that Shiva had forgot about the observation? What did he just say just now? You start with the observation, Kevin. So, I mean, I don't know what happened to Kevin. If he got hit in the head between then and now, or he joined a parallel reality Zoom, or it's like a dark, you know, that Netflix series Dark, like some kind of time travel kind of a thing. I have no idea, but Kevin, this is you're embarrassing flat Earth with all of this copium, and this is just insane, Kevin. You know what? It's a little bit late. I keep on freezing, and I'm getting the vibes that it's going to crash out on me any moment now. So, oh boy, Dan, what to say about all of this bullshit?
The copium runs deep in this crowd. There was a stream before this, after this, where Sam, Flat Earth Reconnaissance, gets on, and him and Vika speak intelligently for minutes on end about how radio is fake. You can make it do whatever you want it to do, and
Right.
you know, all this other stuff about what my so-called experiment is wrong, even though I never presented anything on it except just the framework. So, but I digress. Like when I presented that thing, it was more like, here, I did some homework for you. You can run with this.
Uh-huh.
I already had 41 pages written of a white paper. I do these for work. It's not hard to do. It just takes time. I worked on that for a few weeks. We didn't even decide to do it. But what we did do is we asked some serious questions that they could not answer, and therefore it was personal attacks. So for those who are wondering what Flat Earth is like, it basically comes out to if you ask a questions, it's a personal attack. If you ask them to, you know, provide citations, it's a personal attack. And well, when you get muted, you're resorting to things like this.
All right. I think Isa might have fallen asleep again on us, or maybe got a booty call and left. Who knows?
Oh, I'm here. I'm listening to this.
Oh boy, you're loud. Hold on.
Ugh.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, I've been listening for the whole time.
The whole time?
Oh yeah.
This is just so much fun. It's so much copium. Any thoughts? Any final thoughts?
I don't I don't think I have much to say. I don't really know this universe too well, but you know, I was listening, and it is what it is, I guess.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's not much. These are the people that literally ran away from debating when given the chance. So,
Well, this is the crew that's trying to claim Dave's crown. You know, these are the up and comers too, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. They are the princess of the flurfs in their eyes. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's more maybe correct.
Which one's Moana? Vika?
Yeah, definitely. No, but I mean, this is they're all kind of fighting. You have the ether, the apologist. You have Wetze trying to find his footing again, or who knows, or maybe he's in hiding. We don't know where Wetze is. We're sorry, we missed you. Yeah, I mean, I think, and I think I feel partly responsible because he was debating me on EA, and he was like, "Hold on, my mom," and I was like, "Oh my God, you live with your mom," so I might be responsible of him being self-conscious about that. Who knows? But yeah, I miss you, Witted. You're my.
Well, I mean, I think Witz at least has something interesting to talk about that you can look up. And I mean, I was listening to these guys. I'm like, doing experiments, I could care less. I'm like, that doesn't prove anything. I could go to my basement and, you know, put some tubes in a bowl and say, look at this thing. That doesn't prove that the earth is flat or is a globe. I'm sorry. Like the kind of way that you would need is you need like millions of dollars, and you need these big, high-level, high-tech places to do any real experiment. That's my understanding of this. So I'm like,
No.
No, there's actually some very simplistic ones you can do, Isa.
Yeah, that was the idea of the whole thing to
But
get.
to me, that wouldn't, like, okay, you're doing this thing. That's not going to compel any of these people. The only people you're going to compel are people within your own space. You need something that's like really legitimate that people are going to be like, whoa, that's interesting. These people in these spaces don't care about this stuff. You know, they're not impressed by it. I don't think.
They're not impressed by it, but nothing you say is ever going to change their minds. Pure and simple, and they openly admit that.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess you're just in an impasse where there's like no conversation at all. So,
Yeah. I mean,
No,
the whole
but
reason
it's
why
more
I
fun.
did this was more or less to for my own channel growth, and also so I can, you know, participate in something a little more than just in my own little corner, my own little channel, but at the same time, you know, contribute to something that's a little larger. And because it's actual science, doing experiments and trying to come up with something that any normal person can do with some simplistic tools and some things, you know, and a little bit of cash can actually create.
And it's something, it's something, it's always fun to watch them just flail and,
But
you know,
when I was
watch
listening to
them
them, are they
squirm.
flailing? They're kind of in their own space. I think they think that they're doing amazing. Like, that's from what I'm hearing these people say. They don't seem like they feel like that their thing is threatened at all. You know, they're very
Well, yeah, but
happy in their space. So I mean, when I think of flailing, I think of someone where it's like, man, my back is against the wall. You said something that challenges my worldview. I don't hear that from these people, at least when I'm listening to them. So
Well, you won't, because they deny anything that does challenge their worldview. And
so
if
then
you
how
want,
do you flail? I mean, that's just my question. Like, how do you flail when there's nothing that you don't think anything is challenging your worldview? Why would you be flailing? Like, you would have to be like challenged.
Because that is the flailing. When
Well,
when
yeah.
you watch them go like, no, the sun, no, it doesn't, the sun, and do all of these excuses, that is the flailing.
they took 3 hours of live streams from Shiva that I was part of and turned it into 24 hours plus of coping. That reads as flailing. Why do they need to invest 24 hours into discussing this and trying to dismiss it and trying to debunk it and trying to tell everybody who's listening to them that it's fake, it's wrong, and that it's all a psyop or whatever fucking excuse they want to use? 24 hours from 3. That is an inference of flailing.
Yeah.
For me, the way I would infer it, it's like, ooh, this is a good place for content, so I can get my viewers to watch what I'm doing. So I get 4 hours of content. I think, like you said, it's a psyop. That's what the way they would view it.
I want to review this because there might be some new people.
They would view it as a psyop.
Isa, he has 600 views on that video. And
Okay.
of that series, there's only one that broke 1,000.
So I mean, it's probably good for them, right? In their own viewership, within their own realm, right?
Yeah, but it's it's a very small percentage.
Well, I mean, there's a small percentage of people who are into flat Earth, right? It's not a lot of people who are into this stuff.
And my 2 videos that I did for the live stream have over 1,000 views on one and almost 750 on the other.
Right.
But I'm a very, very small channel compared to.
Yeah, Vika has like 7,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I got 469.
Well, then you could say that it was a miscalculated move. They said, oh, well, I'll do 24 hours of the stream and people will come, and I guess people got bored. I mean, it was pretty boring.
Yeah, I mean, Vika is very boring, to be fair.
I mean, he looks like this kind of director, movie star type with the sunglasses. I don't know if that's really him, but I mean, like that.
No, that's what he thinks he is. He thinks he's Neo. He thinks he's Neo from the Matrix.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you have this kind of, you're supposed to be this kind of cool swag. I'm like, are you trying to be a Bollywood actor, a Shah Rukh Khan or something? You know, Hrithik Roshan, are you trying to pull that off? And I'm like, and then I was listening, I'm like, man, this is boring. Like, it was super boring.
Yeah, he's one of the worst.
When the guy was talking, I'm like, is there going to be something interesting here? And I'm like, see, that's what I think is interesting about Whitson. I'm like, I don't know what this stuff is that he's talking about, so I have to look it up. I have to find out what's going on here. But when I listen to these people, I'm like, there's nothing that I heard that was compelling at all. I didn't hear one thing that was interesting. And I was listening to it for like an hour.
they just sent him to the slaughterhouse. I mean, Kevin has no freaking clue what he was doing there. He wasn't presenting his own experiment. He wasn't. He was very out of his depth on this experience.
I mean, my question is, what is the basement experiment going to prove that the Earth is flat? Like, how do you prove that the Earth is flat with a basement experiment? What are you going to do?
No, but that wasn't the idea. No, it wasn't a basement. The guys had an experiment with radio waves and the lighthouse getting higher and higher so that you get the radio wave horizon.
Okay, cool. That doesn't prove that the Earth is flat, though.
No, but
it proves it's a globe.
No, but what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to understand their worldview, and I'm saying, what do you prove? Like, what interesting argument are you bringing for this situation? I'm not hearing anything.
It wasn't about argument. It was
Then
about
what is it about?
Experiment.
It was a collaboration.
That's why you're doing the experiment. Is you're trying to make an argument to prove that the Earth is flat. So I'm doing this thing, and it's going to showcase that the Earth is flat, right? So if I'm doing this thing, what is interesting about this thing that I'm doing? I'm like, how does this thing go against the monumental evidence that the Earth is a globe? What is this tiny thing that you're going to do in the basement that's just going to explode our minds? What are you going to do? That's my question.
No, but they were talking about doing the same thing that Dan was talking about, but with planes instead of people.
And the idea was it was supposed to be a collaboration. It was not a debate or anything like that. It was supposed to be a collaboration where we agree on one or two experiments that we believe, based off of what the exclusivity of each experiment would be, to differentiate between globe and flat. And it was supposed to be something that anybody can do, which is why from the globe side, our initial one was the sun location calculator, because it's geometrically specific. Had they came up with a model that said, here's the math, here's what we think, and we could actually test them, then that would prove something. But they didn't even bring that up. So therefore there's nothing to test, because flat Earth makes no claims.
I don't know, like when I made my debate for flat Earth, like I tried to make arguments, I tried to make a case, I tried to do something, and I'm like, what I'm hearing here is I don't hear anything of substance. Like I haven't heard one argument. Like when Whitson talks, he brings up, his neo-Tychonian model. I'm like, okay, that's something. There's something that you can bring up, whether you agree with this or not. There's something you can research here. There's something of substance. But it was like, it reminded me of this guy Tychori who debated a modern day debate. And he just came in and he had like his security jacket on, and I was trying to listen. I'm like, what is your argument? What is your case? And it was nothing. Like there was no case. I'm like, I'm sitting here for an hour waiting for a case, and there's nothing. Like there's not even anything interesting that you can like look up and say, okay, here are some details. I took a photograph. I mean, that's your case, is I took a photograph where like there's optical illusions and all this stuff, and how do you test for variables of all these things? I didn't see any of this stuff. I want to hear an interesting case. I like debates. I'm like, what is the case that you're going to make?
Well, if it was an actual debate, it would have been a little different format, and would have had different, information, but it was more like, what test can we come up with that could be done by anybody and everybody? That can confirm that can determine and confirm the geometric shape of the Earth. That was the whole idea, was we're applying the scientific method to this. And the only thing that was demonstrated in all this was that we understood on the globe side, or the normal side, understood what the scientific method was, how to apply it, and how to develop an experiment that could stand up to some sort of scientific rigor. And the other thing that was demonstrated is that the flat earthers didn't want to do any of that, and that they didn't understand the scientific method, and they didn't understand scientific rigor, or even what an experiment is. So we were talking from two different levels to begin with.
So then why even come together then? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm like, what is the purpose of coming together when you're like, we're not even speaking the same language. We're not speaking the same language. We're not
watch them flail.
Shiva was trying to bridge that gap between the two. Dr. Shiva was trying to make it a point of saying, let's get together, let's work on something together, let's collaborate on something, and let's make something that works that everyone can do. He was using as a teaching moment to teach the general public about the scientific method and how to basically derive experiments and how to test and how to do things in a very intelligent way, as opposed to just believing something you're told or making a bad experiment which doesn't show you anything. That
or
was
you
his
know,
mentality.
taking them to
But do flat
Antarctica.
earthers believe in this? Like for me, like you said a word that I think is the flat earth position, is that you said, okay, they believe in psyops. So even if you do a so-called scientific method and you do experiment, they don't care about that. Everything's a psyop. If this was the situation, it's some kind of conspiracy that is for this situation. Like if these results come out, this is a conspiracy that you're working with, you know, lizard people or something like that. that is what would be the case. So I'm like, how would you come together? And like, there's just completely different worldviews, you know?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
You just
in that
laugh
sense,
at the dummies.
yeah, well, we knew what they were going to come up with, right, Max? I mean, we knew our expectations were basically floor level. And they still disappointed. But the idea was that for me personally was more or less was I wanted to be on it personally. I wanted to contribute and I wanted to be part of the conversation in the sense that I can show 2 different experiments that's going to prove this that anybody else can do. And it's going to make it to where if you actually did it or challenge somebody else to make a model and make predictions. If anyone can do either one of those. They can either prove my model wrong or they can make their own model and make their own predictions. That was the sentiment about the whole thing. And even though we're on 2 different sides of it and everything else, if they came at it with an intellectual honesty of sorts of saying, you know what, we have a model. We do have a model. Here it is. Here's our predictions, which would have been great because then we would have said, here's our predictions. Let's see who's right. That was, if you look at it from that way and not as a debate, I think you might understand exactly where they were coming from to begin with.
I mean, I don't know why they're coming at all, because what you're bringing up, your kind of position is not the position. As a person who was like researching this is not what flat earthers are interested in. They're more interested in like their religious ideological position. And
Some are, yes.
I would say overall, that was my understanding. Because I mean, what would be your other compelling?
Yeah, but
it's conspiracy. It's conspiracy.
These are not religious flares. These are, I think we can science it flares. It's a different kind
that
of
makes
liar.
absolutely no sense. There's no logic to that. Because if you're using scientific position, there's no way you're going to come to that conclusion.
Yeah,
but
of course.
here's the thing.
If you're in denial and you deny the evidence and you deny the experiments and you deny everything, then yes, that it's the same way that we get the religious flares.
So I think you could be a conspiracy flat earther.
Yes,
that's the 2 I see are the religious and the conspiratorial ones. Those are the 2 that I know. I mean, I don't know any other argument. Saying I can do science, it sounds stupid to me. That doesn't make any sense.
So
because the scientific method wouldn't yield those results.
So the type who think they can do science, though. Okay, so the ones who think they can do science, right? Here's what they had. They had an opportunity with a very large platform because Shiva has like hundreds of thousands of subs on X. It was streamed on X. It was streamed on YouTube and everything else. And there was a Zoom call they can get into. They had a very large platform to finally be able to say, because a lot of them say Earth measures flat. Earth is proven flat. Earth is, like all these absolute claims that they make that they don't back up. Here was their chance to show a demonstration of it being flat beyond all. I mean, basically, this was their chance to get put in for a Nobel Prize, is basically what it was. So all those times that they've said it measures flat, it is flat. There's no debate. We know it's flat. This was their opportunity to do that, and they didn't.
But I'm trying to figure out why would you even take that position? Like, there's no way.
Because they're idiots.
That's not a good argument. Just saying people everybody thinks they're a genius. So this person, there's some reasoning of why not everybody, but I would say people in general are taking this position that they're right and they're smart and they are the hero of their own story, right? They're the legend in their own universe. So if these people are, I'm trying to figure out their point of view. So we know that the scientific method is not going to yield the results of this situation.
They don't know that.
What do you mean they don't know that?
Because they don't really understand the scientific method.
That's exactly how you get to be what these dummies are, which is flirts that think that they can science their way to flat Earth. That is literally what they are.
I'm not following. I don't understand how that's possible. How is that a
denial? Denial.
Yeah, denying reality and thinking.
So what is the root cause of a person saying, because see, I'm not hearing the explanation for this. What is the root cause for a person saying, hey, I first of all believe that flat Earth is true. What is causing a person to take that position? Why are they taking that position? Because if you're a person who says that, hey, I'm interested in scientific methodology, I'm interested in seeing how scientific theory works, you're not going to get that result. So why is this person taking this position? Just saying they're an idiot is not an answer. Why are they doing it?
Yeah, but it is
The
an
conspiracy
answer
theorist
because
makes
it is
sense.
what they're doing.
The conspiracy theorist makes a sense. You're saying the government is trying to deceive you and trick you. That makes sense. I understand why they're doing it. There's a why there. There's a causal reality of why the person's doing that. The person who says, I'm religious, they said, my holy text says this earth is flat. Thus, I have to take that position against everything else. That makes sense. But just saying, well, I want to try to science it, that sounds ridiculous.
It sounds
but there's a small group
equally as ridiculous as all of the others.
But there's a small group who honestly think that they working at Arby's or wherever that they do, and with a limited education, think that they can debunk Einstein. They think that they know more than Newton. They think that they know more than this. So for them, the biggest win is to actually be able to prove that.
Imagine it like Whitsitt going on his word salads about ethers and this and that. These dummies think that you can do that with experiments. They think that you can do a radio experiment and go like, oh, it means that the Earth is flat. They actually believe that.
So they're saying I'm using science, but they don't believe in scientific consensus. They don't believe that, these scientists who do all these experiments have peer-reviewed papers that talk about their experimentation. They just say, well, that's bunk. But me going into my basement and putting some, doing, what do they call it? What is that called? The thing where you make all the stuff kind of follow, like you
cherry picking?
Not cherry picking. It's like a very vast kind of experiment thing. And you press the button and then it does this thing and it does that thing and it does this thing.
Oh, it's the mousetrap. The Rosenberg mousetrap.
No, Rube Goldberg machine.
Rube Goldberg. That's the word I'm looking for. It's that phrase. It's a Rube Goldberg thing. So I make a Rube Goldberg experiment in my basement, and that's going to prove that the Earth is flat. I mean, this sounds silly. It sounds ridiculous. And
so it sounds just as silly and just as ridiculous as the Bible says. Therefore, there is no logic.
But that makes sense. But taking a Bible position does make a logical position. If you're religious and you believe God made the Bible, that makes sense. That logically follows that you would believe that the Earth is flat. But if you're just I'm doing a Rube Gold, huh?
So what if? Okay, and I'm going to try to apply a logic in this because I think you're trying to apply almost too much logic to this. But I'm going to try to explain this. What if they believe science is lying? NASA's lying, every space agency is lying and everything else. And that all the scientific papers are all lying and everything else. By implying that they're lying, that means that there's truth there. They think that the truth is waiting to be found. And they think that they can look at the same science as everybody else that's all been peer reviewed and find the truth. And if they can find that truth and use science against us, now it's bulletproof. Now it is flat. There's no debate. There's no more question. Does that make sense?
Well, my problem with that would be is that if these evil scientists are lying to us and deceiving us, how can we trust the system of science at all? Because it
Well,
has
they
to be
don't. That's
created
the problem.
by evil people. I'm just saying if it would follow. I
Right.
couldn't trust the scientific method and scientific theory because it's already a deceitful, evil system to begin with. Do you get what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah,
just
no,
it
yeah.
wouldn't
So the
make sense.
premise is already evil to begin with, is what you're getting.
That's it, exactly. So I'm like, you using this method, it's made by evil people who you don't really believe in, that they're all deceivers. So you can't use it anyway. It's a really funny thing because I actually apply this to the Islamic dilemma. It's really interesting. And it's weird because I didn't grow up hearing this and studying Islam, but there's a lot of Muslim people, shockingly enough, who believe that the Bible, the New Testament, and the Torah are corrupted, right? The problem is that Islamic theology is dependent on these ancient texts because they believe in the ancient prophetic lineage, right? But if you just say, hey, well, they all lied, they corrupted the text, it's all just a bunch of ridiculousness, right? Then I'm like, then what are you standing on? And that's the same thing
your
here. It's
foundation
like,
is already soft. Yeah.
that's it. You don't have a foundation. So if you have no foundation, what are you talking about? You're wasting everybody's time, you know?
Well, and I get what you're saying, but I still think that the point holds is that, you know, the ultimate win, so to speak, for them would be to use science against the globe mentality, use the tools that they use to show that it's a globe, to prove that it's flat. To them, that's like the ultimate goal. That is what they strive for.
But how do you do that? Like when you don't you're not college educated, you're not you didn't read textbooks. Like how do you do that?
You
Like,
don't
you know,
fail like Kevin.
Like I'm doing a degree, an associate. Like so, my background's humanities, so I did degrees in humanities, but I'm finishing a degree in science right now, technology, science. You know, like all the stuff that
STEM.
stuff that we're talking about here. Yeah, it's a STEM degree, right, in community college. And it's really difficult and it's really hard. And it's like learning all these formulas, it's very difficult stuff. And I'm like you said, you're going to work at Arby's. You haven't done any of this work. And you think that you now magically can do this. Like that's a level of massive hubris. You know what I mean? Yep. And you deny that scientists are real. Like I get it. Like maybe you didn't go to school, but you rely on scientific methodology, you just rely on scholars, that would make sense that you would do that. But if you're like, I don't have any background in this, I maybe went to high school, didn't really do well in high school, just kind of cruise through, and now I'm going to talk about these very complex things and act like I'm an expert. We had that guy come on, the biologist guy, right? I forgot his name. Dan, right? And I'm like, this guy clearly knows what he's doing. He's teaching classes in it, right? And I'm like, how is this like some kind of rube going to come in and talk about this stuff? Like, this is the way I think about it. Would you want someone to be your surgeon who just learned surgery from watching Google videos? Like, is that what you would want to do surgery on you?
Isa, you're wondering how, and we saw Donnie. He talked about something which is completely wrong about, but because he got a gotcha question that a normal person couldn't handle it, like he did that thing during the whole debate. And you're wondering how, but we literally see how every time one of these dummies opens their mouth to say something stupid.
And just to expand upon this, you want to talk about the narcissism that goes in this. You're saying major hubris and the narcissism. People like Witsit and QE and these other people who are in Flat Earth are gatekeeping, as in they only want to talk to people with PhDs who aren't familiar with this and everything else, because they think they can talk to a PhD on the same level. They think that if they get a gotcha question on a PhD, it proves the flat, Earth is flat. Make that make sense.
It's funny that Isa still tries to find the logic on it when there is no logic.
Well, but there's logic to some of them. Like the conspiracy theorists and the religious flat earthers, I understand why they're doing it. Like it makes complete logical sense to me. Whether their conclusions are correct, it doesn't matter. But I understand why they're doing it. But someone who's saying I'm using science and I'm going against scientific consensus, and somehow with my 6th grade education, I'm going to now prove the Earth is flat.
Same thing. They're doing
That's
the
just
same
their
thing.
motivation, is to be able to do that. They want that Nobel Prize. They want to be the one who proves it flat once for all, shows the truth, and they think they can do it. As illogical as that sounds, that's their motivation.
Huh.
So there's your why.
Their motivation is that, oh, I'm secretly smarter than everybody else.
Yes.
And I hit on this, like, gold mine.
Yep.
Of stuff and
on YouTube.
And then any day now, the flat Earth is going to be mainstream, and they will be knocking at my door so that I give them an interview of how I figure this shit out.
I mean, it's just really bizarre. I'm like, let's steelman it. Let's argue. Let's say that the Earth is flat. What does that prove? What do you get if the Earth is flat? Like, how is it flat? Like, what is the dynamic dimensions of it? Is there a core? Is there a mantle? Like, how do tectonic plates do with geology? Like, what happens with that? What is the depth of the Earth?
Don't know.
There a core in the Earth?
Can't know.
Can't know, don't know, won't know. And
So,
as far as they're concerned, just by getting everyone to admit it's flat, they win.
But they won't deal with any of just geology in general, like none of that stuff. Wow.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
No. Where does where does the lake of fire coming out of that angry rumbling mountain? Don't know. It's God. God did it.
And that's shocking, because it's like you have the mantle, you have the crust, you have the core,
Right. We have E waves and S waves and seismics to be able to, prove that the different densities and things like that. And this has been worked on, even if you went from the continental drift, back to, Wagner to the 60s, and you had all of a sudden, tectonic plates, like, that huge paradigm shift changed everything. These people think that they're going to do this huge scientific revolution and create this paradigm shift, that they can create the world as being flat. They're vindicated. Everything else that they have said outside of the world being flat, all the craziness they've said outside of that, is now also true because it's adjacent.
Right. Yeah, we were right about everything.
Yep.
And I mean, that's bizarre, because a lot of these sciences interconnect. Chemistry, physics, geology, biology, all of this stuff interconnects with each other. So what I'm hearing is a very, very superficial argument that are like, okay, I'm going to do some, Rube Goldberg test in my basement, and that somehow is going to prove all these other sciences. I think that geology would be, excuse my voice, that the geology would be
they were actually proposing an experiment with planes. So it was even stupider than that.
It's just, it's unbelievably, I don't know how you would do it. It's like, for me, it was like fun. Like, the joke that I've heard about flat Earth is that it was like Yale and Harvard debaters were like, we're going to debate this really stupid topic and try to make arguments for it. And that's where the flat Earth debate came from. That's like the joke that they said,
JR Pence for $5. If you think copying the answer out of the back of the book is knowing the material, Google is their back of the book for life. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. All righty. With that, tomorrow we have an after show. There is a debate on MDD. It's Raquel Wilson versus Amanda. Is feminism more good or bad for society? So that is always fun. Before we go, make sure to do the social thing is like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your screen, and you'll subscribe to Share Mamate Talks. And also Unfornicated, who is very close to the 500 subs. Aces W, Dr. Shiva Fleur was unable to distinguish a presentation from a debate that covers most flat earthers who are in the debate mindset and not listening. Yeah, to show up to a whole thing without knowing what it is, it's pretty bad. All right, we did final thoughts, so we'll be on our way. We'll catch you tomorrow for the after show. Take care. Have a great night. Bye bye.